Go.
Sure.
All right, guys. Well, we're live. Thank you for hanging out. Welcome. I do want to give a shout outs to the Dreamcatcher community because they went nuts. This video is like arguably one of my most popular videos right now. So big salutes to you guys. You guys are awesome. So, and Alex, you're joining us again. Thank you for joining me yet again on this journey through Dreamcatcher. I'm excited.
Very happy to be back. It was really fun.
Yeah, well, and there is so much stuff that we have to delve into. There's still roughly, I think you added a couple to the playlist. Am I correct on that?
I did. I went through a couple comments from the last video.
Nice.
I saw some good suggestions in there. I added a couple things. I moved some things around. I think people will be pretty happy with what we go through today. There's title tracks being covered. There's some special clips. There's something I don't want to spoil. Some cool performance videos. I think we're diving into like a really cool group of songs today.
Good
I think
mix.
people will be pretty happy about. Yeah.
I would say so. I didn't check out any of them because I want to go into this completely blind. So we did just take a listen to Odd Eye just for a little bit to make sure everything was good on our end. So very excited to get into the rest of this. And we're going to start it off with one of the newer songs that I haven't listened to, which is Because. Do you have any information on this one?
Well, before we start with that, I'm curious. Now it's been a couple days since we listened to the other songs. Have you gone back and listened to any, or has your opinion on the previous songs changed? Do you have a different favorite? Anything?
I would say they all kind of kept pretty similar. I also feel like I kind of like opened myself up more to some of the more current ones, like Odd Eye. I think that one was obviously the last one we listened to, but I appreciated a lot of people's comments on it being just kind of like Dreamcatcher is this band that just kind of culminates a bunch of different genres. And there were some people that were like, oh, this isn't an anime trope kind of thing, or like, insert like they sound electronic or whatever. I think for me it was very interesting to kind of dissect more of the stuff. I did go back and listen to the playlist again, just to kind of like get a better familiarity with it. And I think I absolutely love the first song still. I think that was one that I came back on that after listening to some of the newer stuff that Dreamcatcher, at least newer in terms of like, the playlist where we're at here. I do feel like some of the older stuff, I was giving it a lot of shit for like some of the drums or like some of the way that like maybe the musicality of it was like as dated. But now kind of looking at it from the perspective of like, oh wow, there's a lot of stuff going on that I didn't really feel like I pick out on first go around normally. But I do feel like there's a lot of depth to some of their earlier stuff that I didn't really have a chance to get into just because we would be here for forever if I really just nitpicked everything. So it was really cool to kind of like dissect everything a little bit more like thoughtfully. And I gotta say that their whole journey as a project has been really cool, and I think it makes me more excited to listen to some of the newer stuff that's released, just because I'm curious how much they're gonna like bridge the gap between like maybe older stuff, like obviously not going back to maybe like first year, second year of the project, but like more currently in terms of like Odd Eye we're gonna be listening to, because like I think this sort of early section of what Dreamcatcher is gonna be doing. So it gave me a lot more appreciation for their writing style, and just kind of listening to a wide variety of music as a whole. I think I kind of jumped the gun a little bit on some of the songs where I was like, I don't know if I'm really feeling it, like, and I went back and listened to some of the ones where people were like, I think you should give this one another listen. And I gotta say, like, I definitely changed a new leaf because I've listened to more Dreamcatcher stuff after the original reaction. I do feel like I kind of jumped the gun a little bit in terms of my initial thoughts on some of the songs. So I would say it's a better overall feel.
Cool. And one other thing I did want to just mention at the top here is we've checked out all the comments on the previous video.
We did.
They've all been fantastic. You guys have given us a lot of information, a lot of info about the lore and the meaning behind videos and stuff. We're going to refrain, I think, from getting too deep into that while we're watching the title tracks, just for time's sake. I think we're doing another 13 or 14 songs right now. Yeah. Trying to hit some B-sides and all that kind of stuff. I think maybe if we want to shoot for a part 3, we can maybe get into some of the meanings for some eras and get into some deeper stuff if you guys want to see that.
Sure.
But I think we're going to try to kind of push through all the music and keep it sort of moving the best we can.
Yeah, I feel like that would probably be the best way to go about it. Otherwise, we probably would be here for like a very long time. So I think it might be best to split it up into a third one. So we'll see what happens. But as well as that, I might as well leave it up to the group here that, you guys have been so cordial. So I do appreciate it. The next group after, we do the part 3, feel free to let us know what project you would like us to do next, because I really enjoyed Dreamcatcher, but I know that there is a whole multitude of different K-pop groups, so I'd love to be able to delve into some of your favorites, some that obviously I would say a large majority of these groups I haven't heard of, so it's nice to, dip my toes in and try to like really, get invested in it to see why people enjoy these groups. So yeah, just feel free to, drop a comment either in the chat or as a comment on the video. Would love to see what you guys have in terms of thoughts. So, but yeah, really appreciate you guys are awesome. So, I feel like we should start with Because. Is there any sort of things that I should know about this song specifically, Alex?
No, I say let's just get into it.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, we're gonna listen to Because, guys. So let's hop into it. Ooh, this guitar riff is sick. I'm vibing. Might be my new favorite. That part was sick. Nice chord phrasing.
전에
Yeah, this one's a good one. I would say this one's my favorite right now, I'd argue. I think it very much jumped the ranks.
Instant favorite on the first song?
Instant favorite, yeah. I think this one's it. I mean, I don't want to hold my breath because obviously we still have more songs to get into, but I dove right in and they got me. That was great.
What did you like about it specifically? Because this is a lot different from the earlier songs that you liked.
I think this one...
This is different, way different from like Chase Me.
I was going to say, yeah, I think there are definitely moments from older stuff. Like a lot of their musicality, I think, derives from like this really interesting blend of like minor tonality and then just the way they kind of like phrase this one out vocally. I thought was very interesting. I also like that this one was like at some parts a little bit more aggressive. I don't feel like in maybe previous songs they've been a little bit more aggressive with what they've been doing. I mean, obviously we still have more songs to listen to, so I don't want to completely jump the gun, but I really enjoyed kind of the aspects of the more like EDM, like sort of electronic styling. I think it was just like very tastefully done. There's, the piano parts that I think that older material really kind of, they kind of landed on with that.
I agree.
And
I really love that plucking lead that comes out there like through that song.
And I think really that nice. The guitar work as well to mimic some of the piano parts as well as, migrating in well with the EDM elements of the song. And I just think that on all fronts, it was just, to me, it just kind of spoke to me a lot more than maybe some of the other songs did thus far. And that's not to discount them at all because I really have enjoyed kind of my whole listening experience. But I will say that this one just had like a really great energy to it to start off. Like again, the minor tonality of the track, that was really kind of what brought me back to some of the older material that Dreamcatcher has done. But as well as that, I think that there's really some like great kind of like pop elements. There's some great like metal moments. There's some great like rock moments. And then as well as their kind of like signature like piano moments. I think it kind of combines different elements of what Dreamcatcher was doing previously and obviously at this current state in time what they're doing now. So that's, to me, that's that's probably why I enjoyed it the most. Where does this sit in terms of your favorites, Alex? Is this up there or not really?
I think this sits up there, pretty close to the top.
Okay.
I sort of have this problem with Dreamcatcher where I have like a couple favorites, and then if like my favorite Dreamcatcher songs are all like S tier, all the other ones don't go below like an A or a B. That's the problem. So it's like hard to rank them past my favorite 2 or 3.
Yeah,
because I don't think I honestly don't think Dreamcatcher has a bad title track.
I would agree. Yeah.
So once I get past like my favorite 1 or 2, it's really hard to kind of rank them.
Sure.
This one's great. I love Because.
And I also say Dami's part was very sick. I think there was just like a lot of aggression, I would say. I guess maybe that's not the right terminology, but I think there was just a lot more like there's a lot more push to her like rap verse in this song that I feel like maybe previous songs
I think that's something that I guess you pick up that Dami adds to most songs is a really good different kind of depth to like the vocal quality, like that like husky voice, and she brings like a different vocal quality than I think anyone else in the group. Obviously they all have their uniqueness to their voices, but Dami has, I think, a very specially unique tone and way of like her rap style that lends to her parts being really memorable.
I will also make a comment on what Mongji Day said, which was that bridge part. I also really enjoyed that a lot. There was like some really cool like rap parts in there, and then mixed with the more like melodic sounding like vocals. I thought that was a really cool thing that, to my knowledge, I don't think they've done yet. So that was interesting, and I think that's another reason why I think I really enjoyed this song a lot as well too. Was just kind of different like musical things that I feel like they've alluded to maybe in previous songs, but I feel like they went full pen to paper on this one in terms of like writing and just immersion, at least for me. So I would say Because is pretty high up there. I would say it's my current favorite as of right now, but that could obviously change as we get further along. We're also going to try to read as many comments as we can here, but seeing that there is 22 viewing the chat here, it might be a little difficult. So, but yeah, I've yet to see them live. I'm hoping that I will get the chance to see them live at some point. I think they would be an amazing band to see live. I know Alex has seen them live before, so
I've seen them twice. They're incredible live.
So next time,
I think we're not going to get a chance to see them on this upcoming tour because it's I think they're playing all the places that they didn't play on the last one, which unfortunately was here.
It seems like more of like a southeast states kind of.
Yeah, they're kind of just running the east coast of the U.S. and I think Canada. So we'll get a chance to see them again for sure.
Well, Dreamcatcher, hope you've been enjoying the videos. Omei said Koreans like to tell scary stories in summer because it is thought the chills will cool you down from the summer heat. So that would make a lot of sense.
That does check out.
Alex is my facts checker here, so I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff.
Barely.
Well, we have the chat, so it's here. Very cool. I enjoyed this one a lot, but we're going to move on to the next one, which is Maison, right?
Yes, Maison.
Do you have anything to say about this one, Alex, before I jump into it?
Not really. We're starting the Apocalypse arc here.
Okay.
So new arc.
Okay. Well,
won't go too into it because quite frankly, I'm not too well versed on the lore.
Somebody will let us know, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you're more familiar in the lore and the message behind Maison, I think I have sort of a rough idea. I believe this song specifically is about like global health.
Okay.
Is that the right way to explain that? Like environment, like saving the environment, saving the earth.
Yeah, environment. Yeah, environmental. Yeah.
So yeah,
and then they keep saying Maison got them their first win, so I don't know what that's referring to.
So there are music shows in Korea where the groups will go, and there are several different ones. They're all charted, sort of similarly by like sales, streams, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of like a milestone to get your first win. Some groups never get there. Some groups are over 100. It's kind of just like year-round constant rewards, I guess is the right way to put it. But yeah, they did get their first win off of this. It was a very long time coming. It was a very emotional win.
Kudos. Well, congrats. I am only a few years late on this, I'm sure. So glad to be a part of it either way. So let's get into
TRL is a pretty good example.
Okay, TRL. All right. That's wow. All right. That's really it's really putting
TRL
things in perspective. Yeah.
If TRL had a bunch of their artists come on the show every day and then gave the best one or like the one with the most fan votes or something an award every day, that is essentially what they're doing with all these different network shows in Korea.
Cool. Well, forgive my lack of knowledge, guys. I'm learning every day. But let's get into Maison right now. I wish I could show it like that.
사람들은 다 하고 싶은 대로 해 진심 비운 껍데기뿐인 거 왜 눈질 끈 감어 기다리다가 딱 봐도 보이지 않는 미래 후회할 때는 이미 늦었단 걸 알아 너 변하기만 하면 다쳐 이상하게 닿지 희성의 법칙 마치 말라가는 네 양심과 똑같이
That was sick. Of course. That bass organ is wild. Holy shit.
I thought that would catch you off a little bit.
Very like operatic. All right. Ooh, I like this breakout. This part's my favorite.
Summer home in the jungle, summer home in the polar. Summer home in the ocean, summer home in the desert. Please someone fight for us.
That was sick. All right, that was Maison. Very excited. That one was good. I really, this one was a little bit, I think it took me a little bit to get into it, but once that chorus came in, then I was like, all right, this is it. It clicked. Like, it clicked pretty quickly. That bridge did throw me off with the piano. It got very like operatic somewhat,
Right.
you know, and I thought that was very cool. But I would probably say my favorite part was that ending, that last part where they switched up the beat. It completely changed the song.
I agree. I was gonna say, to be fully transparent, I wasn't insanely sold on Maison when it first came out.
Sure.
The chorus to me felt like a little, it didn't feel impactful enough when I first heard it.
Fair enough, yeah.
And then what made the song grow for me a lot was that post chorus at the end.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Where it kind of like fills out a lot, and you have like Dami give it like a little bit of like ad libs on it, and it brings the energy up a lot at the end, and that kind of made me go back and appreciate the whole song more. So
yeah, I think they took a lot of like musical chances on this song, I would argue. Like, I think there's definitely some moments of it, but I could see if maybe this is a part of a trilogy. It's interesting to see. Almost, I would consider, because before I was like, oh wow, they're really kind of jumping around musically, but I feel like this is almost. I kind of want to retract that statement, because I feel like it's more of like a lane change. I feel like they're still kind of pushing more in that direction, but like with each kind of like trilogy per se, I feel like they shift over, like they continue to move over into a different lane. It still has like a lot of the Dreamcatcher moments that I'm like, oh, this is really sick, but at the same time, I think it's vastly different from some of the older songs. And I think with each kind of trilogy part, they kind of shift it a little bit more down the line until, you know, obviously the more current stuff we're going to be listening to. So I think it's interesting how often or how much they shift, and it doesn't seem like it's like a complete left turn. I think it's very calculated, and I think it still pulls a lot of elements from the previous parts as well. So I thought that was really interesting. This musically, I think that a lot of the driving force is mainly like that guitar riff, and then as well as like the bass in the song, I would say is a pretty good force.
They do a really cool, I mean, you pointed it out as well, they do that really cool, like almost like an over distorted bass run
Yes.
On the chorus, like the dun 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 dun, which it just gives it a lot of flavor. It gives it a lot of it's just like something extra to pick up on, I guess, while you're listening that like makes it stick out to you, because otherwise, like, I think the chorus and like the chord structure is good, but like having like those extra little like runs and like cool musical notes to kind of listen for, I think helps keep the interest a lot too. So I just really appreciate the instrumentality in that as well.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of an interesting ride that this song has, that I could understand why. I feel like if you've been listening to it in terms of like not knowing where they're going, because this one I imagine is like, in terms of timeline, Alex, this is newer-ish, quote unquote, or where would you?
Yeah, this is just a little over a year ago, I believe.
Okay, so
yeah, just you can scroll down, I think, a little bit right on the video. It'll tell you how long ago it released.
A year ago.
Or does it just say a year ago? Okay, a little over a year ago, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I think it makes it more curious in terms of like, this is only a year ago, like a year-ish ago.
April of last year.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, in terms of the trilogy, now I'll finally be able to kind of listen to some of the stuff that, you know, form out that sort of trilogy of what they're doing.
And to answer in the chat, guys, we're going to be doing Vision next, and then we're going to because of the release order, we're going to go to Reason, and then we're going to do Bon Voyage because of just the recency and everything.
Nice.
So Maison would be first in the trilogy, and then Vision, and then we're going to pop out for Reason real quick, and then Bon Voyage will be the closure of that.
Very sick. Well, I enjoyed this one a lot, but I could also see why maybe this might not have connected immediately. But yeah, this was great. I thought this one was another fantastic track from them. So very stoked. But
the song was very good for them. It definitely helped them out a lot.
And I imagine in terms of popularity, I'd imagine they're pretty popular in Korea, I would assume. I mean,
it's hard to say.
Hard to say. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that I can 100% comment on that fairly. I know that they're very popular where we're at in the States, and I think they are getting more popular in Korea.
Okay.
But I don't know. I can't say I'm exactly sure to what level. I mean,
sure.
I guess enough to have some music show wins and
sure. Yeah, I was gonna say
and all that, but
yeah, I was just curious because, like you said, they were on music shows in Korea, so I'd imagine they have some sort of like, you know, I would imagine they have some substantive, you know, following over there, only for the sheer fact to be on like television. I don't know what the barrier to entry is on that, but I would assume they're probably pretty good. Maze said YouTuber John Seiblin literally started crying when he heard Odd Eye. His reaction was so wholesome. We'll have to take a look at that maybe a little later, but that's awesome. The next one is Vision, as you mentioned, Alex. As this is the second song in the trilogy. Is there anything you'd like to add before we hopped in?
No, let's just roll it.
All right. Vision, guys. Interesting. I need those glasses.
Turning over page, turning over page, turning over page. 조금씩 좁혀가 유력한 두 동작 남겨진 victim, big pain, deep gray. 찾아 like Jackie Chan, quickly, swiftly. Gonna hunt you karma. Gonna get you karma. 하수구도 넘겨줘, 원만만이 남았어. 그렇게 누리는 게 소리. Not for me. 하늘 가득 분노를 담은 듯 깊게 내려치는 thunder. 이내 지켜낸 땅그 위에 깃발을 들고 또 맞서 싸워. 견딜 수 없어. 더는 숨을 수 없어. Alright. 발을 맞춰 던진 relay. 저기 가득한 그 위로 우리 모두에게 설레.
This chorus is so interesting.
I feel like I should be playing Doom right now.
I was gonna say that's what my third song was. This is cool though. I like it. I like that melody at the end. They don't hit like the traditional like notes at the end. I thought that was sick.
Those guitar harmonics at the end are so good.
Along with the vocals on top of that, oh, super sick.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I feel like I mention it all the time, but Xi'an's vocals,
Powerhouse. Yeah.
crazy.
It's for real. She is definitely a powerhouse. I thought it was really interesting in the chorus, like the and I feel like it is intentional, but like the guitar parts almost sounded like gun. Like they almost sound like kind of like a machine gun a little bit in a way. So I feel like that kind of alludes to the more music video aspect of it. And also like the way that the vocals have like, I almost feel like they have some sort of distortion on it at the end, like, you know, at the end of the choruses, like it has this sort of like crunch to it that I picked out, and I was like, that's very interesting, as because most people, you know, vocally you'd want it to sound like as clean as possible, especially I would argue within like K-pop music or just pop music in general. So I appreciate the like vocal liberties they took on this one. I think it was very interesting. And the musicality very much felt like a Metroid, like Doom kind of vibe in terms of like not only the musicality of it, but also music video wise. You know, I really dug that. So this one was fun. I think that as the songs have kind of progressed, like I think I'm a little bit less harsh on the fact that they like just put all of these genres into like a melting pot and just stir it around until like, you know, Dreamcatcher comes out. So I think that that's kind of the coolest thing, that in terms of their progress as a band, it's been cool for them to kind of blur the lines between like rock music, electronic music, like K-pop music. I think they just check all the boxes pretty much.
For sure. I think that's a good thing to pick up on too, is that they're at a point where we're at right now with their discography. They're at a point where they seem like they can just do whatever they want, right?
I would agree. Yeah.
Because when we first started listening to them, they all followed a pretty similar pattern, kind of like your similar J-rock-ish sounding songs.
Sure.
And then the past 5 or 6 have kind of been not all over the place in like a bad way, but they've expanded musically, I think, a lot what they're doing for their title tracks, because I think their B-sides have always they've been a little more free to experiment and do different concepts and different musical styles in their B-sides, but to see stuff like this come out in their title tracks, I think is really cool, finally.
Yeah, I also think that and I would, for people who maybe aren't familiar with Dreamcatcher, listening to this first song, you might be like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, your initial reaction might not be the same. But just going back and kind of listening to this playlist, obviously up to the point, well, before this point, like halfway through the playlist, I kind of really started to appreciate more of the stuff that they have done, over the years. And, I also have to give them a lot of credit for continuing to innovate. I think they do a great job of kind of incorporating some really unique elements that I would argue other K-pop groups might not. Like, I feel like other groups may be scared off to incorporate new things into their music, or to kind of go through that trend of like, okay, like we have to do this on this record and then we have to do this on this record, and I think that they, as you mentioned before, Alex, of just trying to go out and do different things in an effort to obviously keep their interest as a project, but also I appreciate the fact that the fan base has been really receptive of a change, coming from kind of more of a heavier music background. I feel like the first thing that most people say is like, I can't believe you changed your sound. That's this is crazy. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. And I think that, at least from what I gathered from this video currently right now that we're recording and the one that we did, the first part, I just think it's really cool that at least just the K-pop genre and the fan bases have been really receptive to change, because I feel like oftentimes that gets overshadowed by just, obviously new music or whatever it may be. But I do feel like it's such a cool thing that everybody's been like, hey, maybe it might not give me the first go around in terms of the first listen, but I'm going to continue to listen to it and then be like, oh, this is one of my favorite songs like that they've put out. I think that's awesome.
And something I think is cool that ties into that a little bit is that there are a lot of people that are not K-pop fans in general, or like haven't been K-pop fans, but got into Dreamcatcher through their like rock or metal-ish sound and have adapted and followed them into their newer sounding music too, and are still big fans, even though they wouldn't consider themselves K-pop fans. They're Dreamcatcher fans, which is really cool because they kind of like, I think go past, I guess, the stigma for people when they're listening to Dreamcatcher, which I can share from experience being to a couple of the concerts. Is there's a lot of people there that like you see them first, like you're like, oh, that's a metalhead. Oh, like, oh, that guy goes to a lot of punk shows, or oh, these people are definitely like huge metal fans. And it's cool. So I think it serves as like an introduction to K-pop for a lot of people.
I would agree.
But even if it doesn't, and they just listen to rock and randomly Dreamcatcher, I think that's really cool, because a lot of times, like I said, they'll follow them into even like these different sounds, and they'll listen to their EDM songs, they'll listen to like their ballads and stuff, and just be fans of the group, which is really cool for them. It's really unique. I can't say I've seen many groups, from my experience, kind of like draw in a large fandom from outside of K-pop or outside of like their I guess perspective genre.
I would agree. Yeah, as someone that, again, Alex referring this band to me early on, I can say obviously from my background, and I'm sure if you've checked the channel out, like, I listen to a lot of heavier music, and trying to be more respected in terms of like the types of different genres that I get into and listen to. I really loved listening to Twice. I listen to Twice pretty regularly. Same with New Jeans, and I would argue those bands or groups are a little bit more what you would expect from K-pop. And so I feel like this band kind of covers that midpoint between, like, if you are a rock fan or a metal fan, like as Alex said, there's things you're going to enjoy about it and pick up on. But I'd also say equally, like, if you are more on the K-pop side and you want to have a little bit more stuff that's a little bit more out there, or a little bit more experimental, in terms of K-pop music. I think this is a great starting point as well in terms of different groups that pull in different influences and stuff throughout the years. So I got to give him credit for always trying to do different things and try to kind of pick up different vibes. So I love it. Ivy said some metalhead stories are funny. They say if you told me I'd be tearing up listening to Dreamcatcher Reason a couple years ago, I would say you're nuts. It is crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, accurate. So
speaking of Reason, I think that's next on our next in our queue.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ready.
Reason is it was an anniversary song.
Oh, okay.
Song for the fans, and it is what they toured off of. They did their last tour. It was Reason Makes, and that was the one that the most recent one that I went to.
Oh, okay, very nice. Well, I'm gonna get my box of tissues out so I can get ready to cry. So let's get into Reason, guys.
소녀들이 있기에 드림캐쳐가 있습니다.
I have to go on. Reason. 어린아이 같았던 나는 이제 없지만 같은 자리에서 난 힘이 되어줬구나. 재빠르게 지나온 나의 뒤로 모든 게 참 오랫동안 꿈꿨던 모습으로 너와 다른 듯 보이지 하지만 별반 다르지 않아. 지고 치면서 나같이 들렸단 말이 많아. 자신만 만큼을 알갈 땐 꼭 책임감이 따라 매 순간 다 책임을 부어. 이 내 빛을 가린 구름이 앞을 가려도 far away, 멀리 far away.
Wow, holy shit.
Their Halloween shows are so funny.
I can tell. This music video is also really sick too. Shout out.
흘러가는 시간 좀처럼 잡을 수 없더라고. 그래도
Interesting. This is an interesting part.
언제나 나가니까. Yeah, 1 minute like a air 매끈 줘도 밀리언 내가 쉰 높은 곳에 지어주를 위한 key we don't fight. 보여 우리만의 길 be a light. That is love or free. 이 내 빛을 가린 구름이 앞을 가려도 far away, 멀리 far away. 보란듯이 날아갈 날개를 펼쳐. Cause you are the reason.
This would be cool live. I can feel it.
I think I teared up at this part live.
That makes sense.
지금 이 순간 그대 목소리가 모든 걸 말해줘 나의. We're always within something. We can spend more time together. 한계를 넘어.
Oh man, my heart.
함께 나아갈 날개를 펼쳐. Cause you are the reason.
Oh, they toured everywhere. That's awesome.
너와 다른 듯 보이지 하지만 별반 다르지 않아. 지고 치면서 자라치 틀렸단 말이 많아. 터지만큼 올라갈 땐 꼭 책임감이 따라 매 순간 다
Ooh, the
책임을
vocal
부어.
layering on this is sick too. Oh man. Well, we can't jump into the next one yet, but
Oh, man.
that was so wholesome. I love it.
I have to stop myself from trying to tear up when I one listen to that song, but especially when I watch the video. It's so hard to not tear up.
Oh man, that was tugging at my heartstrings. Yeah, I mean, obviously for me, it's like I'm jumping into it. So like, for me it's new, so I feel like if I was emotionally invested in this band, which
Yeah,
I mean now I am, but
I think for a lot of Insomnia, and I would say for myself as well, who've been around for a really long time, you deal with Dreamcatcher sort of being like the underdog for a lot of their career, um, and seemingly like not getting what they deserve, and really like fighting for their first win, and fighting to like get fans. And I think this song encapsulates a lot of like their feelings of
sure.
like returning their gratitude towards the fans. It's really like tugs at your heartstrings. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice. It makes me emotional every time I hear it.
Wow. Also, shout out to Dreamy Queen. Hello. How's it going? Yes, they do seem like they just seem like super wholesome, and I think that was like my takeaway from it was just like obviously there are groups in my life that I've listened to that I feel like an emotional investment to, so I could inherently feel that sort of emotion of like, a band that you're like, man, I really wish they were like, I wish they were a larger group, or I wish they had gotten these awards, or I wish that they did more, or whatever. I can find a lot of relation to that. So for me, like, I was feeling emotional, even though I had, just started listening to Dreamcatcher. But I can only imagine for like people who have been there since like very early on or the beginning, and for them to like get what they finally deserve. I think that's just such an amazing thing, and I think it is a testament to their dedication as a group. I think very easily you could give up and not want to continue on, but for the sheer will that they wanted to just continue doing it, and obviously do it for the fans, you guys that are in the chat, like, that's amazing. So kudos. I definitely feel the emotion.
Yeah, and really like that video does a really cool job of showing their personalities a lot, and like showing how much fun they have on stage, and how close they all are to each other, and how close they are to the fans. And I think that video, it just like it barely scratches the surface,
I would agree. Yeah.
when it comes to like there's so much funny, good content from them, that you would never be able to get through it at this point. But that video does a great job, I think, of giving you like a rough idea, or giving you like a little glimpse into how the past, I believe 6 years at the time, have been as a journey with Dreamcatcher.
Yeah. Oh man. Well,
Great song.
Great song. The message was amazing. Obviously, shout outs to all of you guys for, making their dream a reality. I mean, I think that's like one of the things that I was talking to Alex about is like, while like the first video did so well, I was just surprised at like the level of appreciation and love that I feel like people can have for a group. Like, I don't think there's any better example, and obviously a good jumping off point for listening to other groups as well. Like, I just feel like sometimes like I feel like K-pop as a group can be so wholesome. So it's good to see that, people. It's cool to see people giving a shit about, the artists and the groups that they love, because like, to me it's like that's what I have been doing for like 7.5 years as well. So like, it's cool to see that there's other people that like care about it and that are so welcoming to, again, someone who is, very minimally knowledgeable on what K-pop is and groups. So, appreciate you guys so much, because it's been a blast. So, Dreamy Queen says they're so hardworking and only deliver quality, cool choreos and sound. And then Ivy also commented and said, Dreamcatcher gets fans one song at a time, starting at rock bottom. I would say that for sure. We started from the first song and we're making our way through them all. So it's been fun. This is great. Very, very much stoked to get into the next one, which is Bon Voyage. This is the newest one, Alex?
So this is their newest title track.
Okay.
This is jumping back to the trilogy with Maison and Vision.
Yeah. It's all right. We got you. All right. Well, let's is there anything I need to know about Bon Voyage?
No. Let's do it. Get me away from that
All right.
before I break down.
Oh, the harmonies in the beginning. Oh, what's going on with the bass? What? Oh, this is insane already.
I can't wait for you to hear the B-sides on this album.
I'm stoked. This is great so far, though. Acoustic part? What? Okay, that's a flex. This is great. Tommy's a little bit more subdued in this one. I like it though. This music video. This goes way harder than it should. Oh my god. Holy shit. That was crazy. Oh my god. That was awesome. That was great. I don't have any words, honestly.
That's my favorite Dreamcatcher title track.
That is a magnum opus right there, I'd argue. Oh man. Wow. I really am at a loss for words. I genuinely don't know what to say about that song. I think it kind of like, I feel like it kind of culminates everything that they've done. If I have to argue that point, you know, I feel like they've, like, it has some moments of old stuff. It has some moments of like the in-between, and it has some moments of like their new stuff. But like, just, I will say like the music video definitely helps in that aspect, because it's just like so over the top, especially like that ending part, and you see like one of the members literally blasting through like the fucking like like explosions. There's a bunch of like fireworks going off, like buildings exploding.
This music video is insane. This music video is over simulation. I definitely, I remember waking up the morning it came out and putting it on and listening to it, or I was watching the video on my TV And I got through the video and I was like, wait, what did the song even sound like? I don't even did I hear the song? Because I just like watched the video and I was so confused and like overwhelmed with what was going on the screen. I was like,
sure, yeah.
All right, I need to listen to this like on Spotify without the video or something, because I cannot hear the song if I'm watching the video. There's so much going on.
The music video, whoever did the music video, man, they popped off on that. That was insane. But I think musicality wise, like, oh, it's just so diverse. Like, I think that was, I don't think if I feel like this is one song that I feel like I'm excited to give more listens to, because there's a lot of things that I feel like I'm going to completely overlook in regards to that structure.
Yeah, that funk bass they have going on.
So wild.
That's kind of like thematically part of the whole mini album that this came out with. So like the whole album that this song is on, I think most of the songs have like really, really good bass riffs, and like really they're all, a lot of it's like very like bass driven. It's really, really impressive.
Yeah, it's just, oh man, it was just such a fun ride, and I think like musicality wise, you just easily get lost in it. But I really am excited to give that song more of a listen, because I think for me personally, that was just like such a fun vibe. And you know, I can clearly say Dreamy said that they've won 2 more trophies because of it. Totally can see why they would have won 2 more trophies from that.
Well deserved.
Omei says, I love how the trilogy has shots that look like they're from an anime. 100%, especially that shot with the explosion. That was wild. Oh, love it. Ivy said it will take you several listens to fully take in everything. Would 100% say that. Seyeon goes crazy. Kudos to Seyeon. She's awesome. I would say this
hopping off of those vocals at the
end. Yeah, at the end. I think there was just like, as you mentioned, there's just like overload. Like you're like listening to the song, you're watching the music video, and you're like, what else? You might as well have just had like a jump scare come behind my like chair and just freak me out, because I think I would have pissed my pants if I like got any more stimulated. It was just so crazy. But yeah, I would say this one's pretty up there. I would probably argue this one beats out most of the ones that I like. And I think if anything, that's just like the baseline of listening to it one time. So I'm only sure that the more that I listen to this song, the more I'm gonna love it, I'd argue. So yeah, wow, what an ending. I think it makes me more stoked to see what else they're gonna be capable of doing, because if they can end if that can be like the first song off of their mini album, then jeez, I don't even want to know what the rest of the mini album sounds like if that's one of the songs. Maybe I'll review the rest of it. I don't know. That'd be kind of sick. Let us know, or let me know. I'll do it.
Yeah. Now I think we're going to be heading into some random songs, not entirely random, but
okay.
Some. We're going to go off the path a little bit. We're going to start with No More, which is another Japanese song.
Oh, okay.
A Japanese single. We've got a couple performance videos, self-made music videos, a couple random B-sides and stuff. So
okay.
Stick around if you want to see some B-sides covered and special tracks and stuff. If you have any suggestions, we may already be doing them, but
we may, yeah.
Suggest them anyways. We might throw some stuff in.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. I want to kind of get into a couple chatters here. Dreamy also said they are so talented too. SUA, the main dancer, is
Sua.
Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. My brain is in overload right now. Is the one who sung the high note after the bridge, and Sion is the one who did all the vocals after Epic Ending. 100%. Ivy said, I argue some of the B-side songs are the best. I know I completely
I would agree with that.
Omei said, who's everyone's bias? I assume they
I can answer for... Yeah, I can answer... I think both of us are Dami biased, I think.
I'm a Dami stan.
But mine... Yeah, but mine changes a lot. It kind of switches between Dami, Xian, and I get Sua biased whenever I see Dreamcatcher live because she's so chaotic and she wins me over. But then I always end up going back to Dami and Xian. So I don't know. It's tough.
I would say Dami,
It's tough
of
out here.
course, you know, because I'm a Dami stan. I feel like I have to say that. You know, it's my obligation. I don't know. I really enjoyed all the members. I think it allows. I think each of them.
Yeah, of course we love all 7.
We love all 7, but I feel like I've made my opinions known of how much I love Dami in her verses because I always point them out. So I feel like there is a little bit of bias there, but all of the members are all great. So don't want to say I love one more than the other. They're all very cool. So we're going to get into No More. If somebody knows in the chat as to why they do like Korean songs and the Japanese versions, I'm just curious as to, you know, what the differentiator is on that, because I don't know. That was interesting to me.
It's kind of market dependent.
Okay.
So Japan for a very long time has been, actually they still are the second largest market for K-pop outside of Korea.
Ooh,
so
okay.
That's why a lot of groups will do Japanese singles, Japanese promotions. And then up until recently, it was China at number 3. It is now United States at number 3.
Ooh.
So
Wow.
you'll notice a lot of, that's kind of like when you look at a group, you'll see they have obviously the Korean songs. A lot of them will have Japanese songs, and then a little bit less, but still a pretty good amount will also have English songs, because you kind of go for the, I guess by market size, and I guess global market would be English songs.
I would agree.
So
yeah.
so a lot of groups have Japanese songs. It's not super weird, and especially for Dreamcatcher, with their sound, they have had a pretty good amount of work with like Japanese mobile games, animes, and stuff.
That's true. Yeah, we did talk a lot about a couple of them on the last part, so makes sense. But let's get into No More. I'm excited to listen to this one. So. I like the vocals. Very ominous. Complete flip side.
And don't be afraid, 진짜 no damage. Look at in a if we take a shutdown.
In the background. Insane. Wow, that was. I always want to say what a complete flip side. It was like completely out of the blue. I love that.
Thought you would like that because I think you liked Endless Night a lot, which was the previous Japanese one we listened to.
I did like Endless Night. I would say that one's up there as my favorite as well. But this one was great. This was far more aggressive than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. They definitely get a little bit different with the Japanese songs. Obviously, like this has a lot of, I think, influences from stuff that you and me would be familiar with. Like a lot of, I would say, like earlier 2000s, like the metalcore kind of,
yeah,
like heavy, like drop C riffs with like the synth in the background and stuff. It's very reminiscent of like that older 2010s metalcore, even like the old As I Lie Dying like riffs with the solos coming in.
Yeah, that's so sick.
Yeah, so personally, that's a really cool song for me. Just kind of musically is a really cool throwback.
It was this one I obviously I'm gonna make my bias pretty obvious, but this one was, I feel like, played very much to the things that I already enjoy. And I think also vocally too, it's crazy how much vocally some of their stuff translates over to the Japanese stuff, because I think if you look at it from like an outside perspective, which would be mine, you're like, I don't know if that's gonna work, right? Like it shouldn't work, right? But I think the way that they migrate everything super well, and how fluid they are with writing stuff that's a little bit more like, and I feel like some of their Japanese, like the Japanese versions of their songs maybe have translated over to, the Korean stuff. But it's cool to see the lines blurred, but I also appreciate the fact that they like went full like metalcore metal song on this one. They just, that one hit the chest. I love it. I was really vibing with this one. Mel asked if we were doing Eclipse. I don't know if that's on the list or not.
Eclipse is in the mix. Eclipse will be coming up.
There we go. I love it.
Stay tuned for Eclipse.
Yeah, this was great. Like I said, I don't really have a lot to say just because I know I liked it. It's just, I think it very much plays to the strengths that I already have. And then Omei said we're in for a treat. So I like I said, I haven't seen what's on the list here, so I guess we are in for a treat. But yeah, this was great. I can tell.
Hey, Jared, hey, welcome. Metal K-pop. Yes, you're. I think that was the in for a treat comment was directed towards that.
Well, I mean, I also feel like we're in for a treat anyway, because this.
Of course we're in for a treat. We've got some great songs to go still.
But yeah, this was great. I enjoyed this one a lot. I feel like I kind of almost intentionally want to split off like some of the ones I really enjoyed that are more of the Japanese ones, just because I feel like my bias is going to be pretty apparent in that. So I feel like almost at the end of this, maybe I'll break down some of my favorite K-pop ones, like the ones that are more in the Korean version, and then obviously have an entirely different list for the Japanese.
I think when we're finished, you should rank all the songs.
Oh man, you're gonna kill me, man. Oh, okay, I respect.
I think when we finish, whenever we're done the Dreamcatcher series, you should do a tier list.
You can rank
all this.
Okay.
Yep, yeah, you can do, and you can rank all the songs yourself.
Respect. I'll do it. Or I should rank the albums. I think the mini albums. That would be pretty interesting.
That'd be great. You'd have to do a lot of B-side listening, but that could be something if people are interested in seeing it. We could do. I guess we could do mini album and album listen throughs if people want to hear that.
Yeah, it depends on what YouTube allows, essentially. So we'll see what.
Yeah, it's fair.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, maybe I'll probably wind up listening to some of the mini albums in my free time. So then I'll be able to come up with a extensive list. Ethan said, I believe Pontus Norgren, I hope I didn't butcher that, from the Swedish metal band Hammerfall, played guitar in No More. Just a fun fact. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's actually really sick. It would make sense.
That is a cool fact.
That would make sense given the type of music that this song is like trying to portray, you know. So I love that. I love fun facts. So the next one we have on the list, Alex, is this Special Clip? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Go ahead. So this next song is called Sahara. Sahara. It is a self-made music video.
All right. Well, let's get into it then.
Give you a little bit of personality. Maybe you'll switch biases when you start seeing a little more of their the member chaos and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. I like how they're all trying to be serious.
끝없이 펼쳐진 red 이내 한없이 차가운 dead end 쉴 틈 없이 멀어지고 있는 my way 메마른 이 코스의 갈증 바짝 타들어가는 입술 그럼 전부를 담은 현실 찾을 수 없어 oasis 한 줄기 oasis 아무도 정해진 길은 없어 내 앞을 막아서도 Understand 진리를 붙잡고 맞서 싸워 앞으로 나가야 해 Starry boy 달이 차올라 oh Sahara 모든 걸 바꿔 재빨리 요동치는 ambition
I love when they do that. Got me so number one.
That's fair.
누구도 정해진 길은 없어 날 끌고 가려 해도 Understand 흐름을 거슬러 맞서 싸워 앞질러 나가야 해 Starry boy 달이 차올라 oh Sahara
How did I know they were gonna do that?
모든 걸 바꿔 재빨리 요동치는 ambition 가릴 수 없는 하늘에 pray Sahara 거친 바람이 날 핥혀도 확신할 수 있는 힘이 있다면
I love that.
I can get through everything. 세상을 바꿔 재빨리 요동치는 ambition. 가릴 수 없는 하늘에 pray Sahara.
Is there more? Or is this just
I think it's just behind the scenes. 펼쳐진 red 이내 한없이 차가운 dead end 쉴 틈 없이 멀어지고 있는 my way 메마른 이 코스의 갈증 바짝 타들어가는 입술 그럼 전부를 담은 현실 찾을 수 없어 oasis 한 줄기 oasis 아무도 정해진 길은 없어
너무 좋은데?
내가 라이브도 하는 거야 진리를 붙잡고 맞서 싸워 앞으로 나가야 해 달이 차올라 oh
the one all the way in the right hand corner right there?
요동치는 ambition
That was awesome. I feel like I have to go back because I have to like pick out where they're all like standing together here. Let me see if I can find it. We're getting close. Getting close. Getting close. Nope. Keep going. We'll do this. That's probably pretty good. Okay, so you asked me what my biases are. Now, I feel like it did change a little bit.
I'm not expecting it. I'm not saying you need to change it. I'm just asking.
No.
Saying it could.
I say Dami's still number one. Dami stand for life, you know. I think I feel like they all have their unique like quirks about them. I think they're all very hilarious.
Yeah, they're all funny.
They're all hilarious, yeah. I don't know. That's tough. I was saying the one where one of the members is getting like dragged and then she like bonked her head in the blooper.
Yeah,
Guyung she's hilarious. They were all very funny, so I think that was it was harder for me to choose. So I feel like they all have like a unique like quirky aspect to them that I think I really just kind of enjoyed. Like, you know, I feel like when I listen to like bands and stuff, you don't really get the like the behind the scenes stuff of this, you know, like how goofy they are or whatever, or just like being themselves, or you know, I imagine this is kind of like a day in the life for them. But I love, they are all great. I feel like I feel like these types of videos kind of strengthen that bond together. So I like that. They were all hilarious, but I still think Tommy's number one.
And Dreamy did just point out that Handong was not in this video. Obviously, there's 7. There's only 6 girls in the video. This was, I believe, during the time that she was filming Youth With You in China. So she was absent for this one.
Oh, well, I feel like my recommendation is incomplete then. Well, but I still love all of them. They're all great.
We've got more to go.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, and also, you know, speaking on the song was also great too. I do love the, like, where they kind of break up the Sahara. I thought that was very interesting. But I think the musicality of it was very fun. I think, like, watching the music video, very similarly to some of their other songs, like, definitely helps you get a better aspect for them as creators. But I think at the same point, like, I love the fact that they just included the bloopers in at the end. I think it just makes it like that much more wholesome, but also at the same time, like, you get to take a peer into their like personality and how goofy they are. And I know people were mentioning that in the chat and also have mentioned it in the comments of their previous video, but you really feel like you get a better glimpse of that in like these types of videos. So I got to give them a lot of kudos for doing this, because
I like when I get a glimpse of SoundCloud rapper Dami.
SoundCloud, yeah. Is that coming out or did that happen?
No, in Sahara. Like, I like any song where they give Dami just some auto tune and a trap beat and kind of just let her be a SoundCloud rapper for a verse.
I just thought it was funny that she had like the mic set up and then she was just using her like iPhone as like the mic. That's awesome. So yeah, this was great. I think the song itself was really great, but I think the actual music video, the MV, was just where it was at. So I was vibing with this one. This is a good one. Definitely high up there, certainly. But the next one is looks like Poison Love. Am I correct on that?
That's right.
All right, let's go hop into it.
Why do
I gotta turn the captions off.
This is crazy. 널 알게 된 순간 이미 잘못된 일. 눈빛 하나로 모든 경계심 다 무너뜨리는 너.
Definitely a different sound.
손쉽게 파고드는 능숙함. 내게 너무 What do you make me cry? What do you bring me down? 매일 더 흐려져 원해 널 더 원해 널 Why do you make me cry? Why do you break me down? 너와 입술을 맞닿으면 내 아픔 다 사라져 Every day I feel love 무기력해지지도 밥을 먹다가도 모두 다 남기고 난 다시 잠에 들어 이제 어느샌가 기계적인 생각 You're the only way out 힘겹게 떨쳐내려 해봐도 내게 너무 익숙한 It feels like 너 때문에 더 많이 아파도 멈춰버린 생각이 발걸음을 돌려놔 너에게로 중독돼가고 있어 지금 난 이미 fall in love 두 눈을 가린 채 again What do you make me cry What do you bring me down 매일 더 흐려져 원해 널 더 원해 널 Why do you make me cry Why do you break me down 너와 입술을 맞닿으면 내 아픔 다 사라져 Yeah, 너를 like Sure I know You'll never be mine 단 한 번도 처음부터 먼저 날 바라본 적이 없었던 처음부터 먼저 날 바라본 적이 없었던 처음부터 먼저 날 바라본 적이 없었던 너로 오늘도 찾아가 Why do you make me cry? Why do you break me down? 너와 입술을 맞닿으면 내 아픔 다 사라져
Oh, that was great.
와, 아이.
아니 날 보면서 다시 할래요. 잠깐만 너무 웃겨. 아직 시작하지 마. 야 집중해. 감정선을 이어가야 돼. 빨리 봐.
That part was the best.
Yeah, that move is crazy.
Oh my god, that was awesome. All right, guys, that was Poison Love. Wow. I've been enjoying these behind the scenes like B-side things. I can understand why people get way more invested with this group now because I feel like if you watch like the main MVs, like the like the title MVs, I could like understand like people enjoying it musically, but I would say like and argue for the people that are in the chat now, like people watch the B-side stuff and like that's when you get invested and that's when like again songs of theirs will make you feel emotional because like you get to see them be themselves, and then like if you see them at a show playing, I feel like you get way more invested to it, and obviously they care about the fan base a lot too, so it's just like extremely wholesome. So I think that I got to give them a lot of credit for that because it's just been fun to see a different side of them, and obviously, music video MV wise, like they're badasses, like 100%. But I feel like this like makes it seem more real in a way. Like it's just so cool. So I gotta give them a lot of props for it. Also, the song itself was just a heater of a song. I really enjoyed this one too. Poison Love, just like the kind of like EDM like beat and just like them singing over top of it was just like, oh, so good. So enjoyed the song as well. I don't know if you have anything else to add,
Cool.
Alex.
No, I kind of share similar points to you. I think it's a fun song. It's a, nice grooving kind of house song. It's wouldn't say it's like one of my favorites, but I don't dislike it. The video I think gives it a lot of personality and makes me like it. I think it helps it. Like the whole listening experience or the whole experience of that song, watching the video of them having fun with the song makes it a really good package.
I would agree. Yeah. I think I think even with like the last song of the trilogy that we just finished out on, like I think watching the music video and listening to the song is like, okay, I can kind of find a similar situation to listening to some of the B-sides and stuff like that, where like you get way more investment with the group because you're watching them just be goofballs and having a good time. And I consider myself pretty goofy, so I like a lot of their humor, like I resonated with because I'm just an absolute cornball. So I like that they were just having a good time, having fun, and like I can imagine it's the same sort of energy that they have when they play shows and they're talking with their fans and stuff. And
for sure.
So I love it. I also got to give a shout out to Omaze in saying that their outfits were definitely fire. I can concur on that. They got some good fits. Big facts. But yeah, great song. Enjoyed this one a lot. But I think the music video made it like 10 times better, 100%. So the next one we have is, what is this one, Alex?
Red Sun. It's a performance video.
Red Sun? Okay. Well, do I need to know? We're just gonna hop right into it?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing to talk about really.
All right, let's go. Red Sun, guys. Ooh, this is interesting. Like a lute or something.
따라이를 멈추고 까마득한 밤을 유지해 태양은 쭉 잠들고 그냥 내가 시키는 대로 Here we go, get 'em up 기름 가득 제트처럼 boom up 다 준비된 카드 끝없이 그 앞에 no 난 아무것도 남기지 않고 사라져 타락한 그 맘이 커질수록 자꾸만 바뀌는 mirror 차가운 안개가 널 감싸면 기억하지 못할 거야 눈 감아냈어
I like this one a lot.
다시 또 네 춤을 만들어 Don't know why 네 앞을 막은 wall 벗어날 수 없어 You don't know 스스로 꺼내든 칼날에 넌 위험에 빠질 거야 석양이 지고 어둠이 오면 너도 알게 될 거야 이곳의 rule 시작점에 널 데려다 줄게 또다시 새로운 게임 come 타락한 그 맘이 커질수록 자꾸만 바뀌는 mirror 차가운 안개가 널 감싸면 기억하지 못할 거야 눈 감아봤어 반복되는 trap at night I leave you
Oh, that was sick.
눈부림치는 널 보면 웃겨 Red sun, red sun, red sun 빠져들어 red sun, red sun 아무것도 없는 곳 이 밤의 끝 새벽의 공기가 차
was awesome.
Good song.
I would say that. I would say it's probably my favorite. Oh. I imagine this is more behind the scenes. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's just some outtakes.
All I'm gonna say is I wish I had that sort of skill to be able to like time the song and do the like hand moves and like do the
that snap with like the use of the
camera.
What would you? No, like the snap with the use of like the empty space in the song.
Oh
really cool.
Yeah, that was sick. That worked out
and
super
the
well.
choreography goes along with it really well. As it was pointed out in the chat, Sua choreographed it. That's why the choreo is so good.
Shout out to Sua.
Yeah, and Sua herself is very dangerous. So
I don't know.
Did a very good job. Very good job on this song.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave. I'm assuming, just saying that she's dangerous. I'm just gonna leave that as is. Okay, well, there's no extra comment on that. I really enjoyed the actual song itself. Like, obviously, a choreo, watching the video is very neat. But I think the song itself is probably one of my favorites of the B-sides we've listened to thus far. I just really loved almost like the girl group kind of harmonies, like comparatively to like pop music in the States. It kind of remind me a lot of like a Fifth Harmony kind of where like some of the melodies are very like similar to that. That is at least where my kind of correlation would have picked up. But I think some of the melodies are really beautiful. I think obviously mashed up with the choreography was really cool, and some of those moments, whether like there's like a camera pan and then they got into the next part, it was just really well edited and well choreographed that I think it made my immersion into the song that much better, because I was able to kind of enjoy those moments where I feel like maybe some of the like main tracks where the music video is like kind of like this thing that you're like, oh my god, it's almost like a movie, this is crazy, where I feel like this song is a little bit more like, again, not as in your face. I mean, it definitely has moments, but it doesn't take you out of the song, where I feel like even with main songs, as much as I love them, there might be some parts where I'm like, oh man, that was a really cool shot, and not like really focusing on the music aspect of things. So I think that these like more choreographed versions I think are really tight. So but yeah, I love this one. This one was definitely high up there on my list, I'd say, for sure.
Nice.
And then Ethan commented and said, for anyone who doesn't know, the term red sun is associated with hypnotism in South Korea, since it was the catchphrase of a TV hypnotist in the early 2000s. That's wild.
Cool.
That's why I was so entranced.
Yeah, good bit of info.
It's a good bit of info. Shout out to Ethan. Ivy said, I doubt any covers are on the list for today, at least.
Yeah, we don't have any covers on the playlist currently.
And Dreamy said, this one is for me. Is a bit similar to Because in some ways. I would agree. Yeah, there's definitely some moments in there where
I can see that.
I can see the correlation. So, but yeah, this was great. I would say this one, out of the more B-side tracks, I'd say that's pretty up there in terms of a favorite.
Cool.
So,
ready for the next one?
I am. The next one looks to be Eclipse. Am I correct on that?
That's right.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to hop right into it then. Okay. I love this art style.
た時の夢ばっかり繰り返す忘れようとするほど胸は痛む今でも消えた言葉 Every day, every day, every day night Our days are dying up the night 交わる刃その先にある悲しみ触れられなくても
Yeah, I love those breakbeat drums going on in the background.
I was gonna say those are tight.
I love these recording clips.
I was gonna say those are awesome. As far as hits. Part line, super sick. I would literally.
So that was
King's Raid. Is that what?
Yeah, that
said?
is the opening OST for King's Raid anime. So
I would just watch the anime so I could listen to that OST.
I'm sure a lot of people did.
I feel like that one, like, I feel like in terms of OSTs, I've heard that one's pretty up there. I love the like real, just again. The really aggressive guitar work in terms of the leads, that was something that stuck out to me pretty initially, and it was something that I was glad to follow along with still. But yeah, this was a great one. Definitely a little bit more, I think musically a little bit closer to like the first couple years of Dreamcatcher, if I can say that. I think there's a lot of cool moments going on with that, and just was a fun track. I think vocally, as you pointed out, Alex, of just having those moments where you can see them in the studio like singing their parts and stuff. I thought that was really cool. I'm surprised they don't do more of that, to be quite fair. So
I believe there are pretty good amount of behind the scenes like recording videos, but they're typically like clips, like vlog style sort of.
Okay, yeah.
Of like them recording albums or recording songs. Typically not too often do you see them in the actual music video or the
like
promotional
MV,
video itself. Yeah.
Sure. That makes sense. But yeah, this was great. I think it definitely was another one I really enjoyed as well. Just like that they kind of kept to, I would argue, like classic OG like Dreamcatcher sound. You know, I think if you're like an older fan, I think you're definitely going to enjoy this one a lot, certainly. But I definitely feel like there are moments for new ones as well too that really would enjoy it. Also, I think if I did mention it, also shout outs to Ethan for giving us some really cool trivia thus far, because I don't know shit about this band, so it's good to know little tidbits here and there. So appreciate the facts, and John for all the emojis that he's put in our chat. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Sindray said, for anyone that says Dreamcatcher sounds like anime intro, Eclipse is literally an anime intro. Well, yeah, that is true. I think I argue that it's probably not a good representation if you're trying to get into Dreamcatcher, but I think if you like anime and this may be your first introduction to the band, I would say it's pretty solid.
I think that if you were a King's Raid fan or an anime fan that happened to stumble upon this song, I think it is a good foot in the door for the group.
I was going to say, yeah. I think it's a good jumping off point, but I would hope that people just don't listen to just Eclipse because they're like, oh, it's a sick anime OST, which it is, to be fair, 100%. But I would hope that people kind of jump in a little bit further than just the OST. Mel says the King's Raid is so good, so I guess I'll have to add that to my list of animes to watch now, just so I can relive the Dreamcatcher moment every time. And then she also said Rose Blue, please. I don't know if that's on the list.
Rose Blue is a good one. It's not on the list for today, but we could add it.
We can add it for next time.
I assume if we're gonna do a part 3.
I think you guys want to see a part 3. What do we think? Well, let us know if you'd like to see.
I saw somebody had mentioned solo songs, and that's definitely a route we could go down to.
Okay.
They did release an album where every member had a solo song, which were all different vibes, all different genres.
Okay.
That was cool.
I'm about it. Well,
I think there's plenty of stuff to build another playlist for part 3. If you guys want to drop suggestions, we can try to do more of like a fan voted what you guys want to see, and I'll kind of curate the playlist around that.
That'd be really sick. So I guess we are doing a part 3, guys. So that's what it seems like. You guys want to see more of it. So I try to be cordial to do what we can.
Having too much fun. I mean,
it's been great.
Having fun.
We are having fun. So I like this. This is awesome. Samurai said, for some reason, I think that in the recording booth scenes in the video are mainly for Japanese release, ? I know a few Twice videos have the same thing. Interesting. So we'll have to think about it. Ethan said you may have this added in the playlist already, but I recommended the special clips for Mayday since they play with a band in the video, and the band is made up of Insomnia.
Don't have it in there, but I will consider that for the next one.
There we go. Mel says yes, waiting for part 3. Sinray said, if Black or Blue is one on the list, do you have
Black and White?
Black and White. Sorry, I don't know what I said.
Sorry,
I blacked out.
Black and White was one I wanted to include, and then just based on like time constraints, I didn't. So Black and White would definitely be on the next playlist for sure. Black and White definitely be on the next one.
Malice Glove said enough
version
to do part 4.
Black or White version wise, I don't know. I didn't think about that actually. I'm curious to what you guys would rather see. I know the Dingo version is really good. I
have no.
But yeah,
idea.
whatever you we can put in whichever one you guys prefer. I think they're both worth watching.
Okay, well maybe you can throw one earlier in the list and then throw one later in the list, just to kind of space them out. Unless you think I should listen to them back to back.
Mace, I have great news for you if you want to click into the next song, Brandon.
Oh, okay. All right, well, we'll get into the next one then. Is this it?
By that, I mean the one after this song.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I can't read. I'm pretty sure I'm reading this right. Sorry,
I get a little confused about my playlist, but Wind Blows
is on there.
Play color version of Wind Blows is coming after this.
Okay.
And a little preface for this one, I don't really like to show the like these fan like lyric videos like what's up here, because this is sort of just a an audio track that shows the lyrics and who's singing them and stuff, and I don't really like to show them, but I think this song is something worth listening to, and there's no really good official version or anything that they've put out other than just like the basic like track cover with it.
I will say
so I figured this could help you at least like visualize who's singing and stuff.
I will say this is good because then now I can put a name to the face, which I don't feel like I was able to before.
Yeah, right, and that's why I went with this over just the version that is just the album cover, because I'm not a huge fan of channels that re-upload their music and try to get like revenue shares and stuff off of it.
That's fair. We did do that for I did do that for Twice, or we did it for Twice, so that maybe we're gonna let this one slide because I think the song is it's a hot
worth
one.
checking out.
Okay. Ivy said signed up for a 10-part series. I don't know. I hope it's not. Jeez, we'll be here for.
I mean, there's probably enough music for a 10-part series. God, I don't know.
at some point we'll probably have to cap off a little bit. Jimmy said, or watching the guide. Cinderade said, I personally feel the Music Bank version is better than Tingo one. Mouse Glove also said Music Bank. Dreamy Queen said Silent Night, such a bop. Ivy said
avoid Music Bank for copyright issues. We will
could
probably avoid Music Bank then.
Okay. Christian said Silent Night is a great song. Everybody's keeps saying this one, so we're gonna keep going. Mel says, oh my god, Silent Night, one of my favorites, next to Because. That's awesome. Sinray
yeah,
said,
and I will say Silent Night is also one of my favorite songs from Dreamcatcher.
Okay.
But I think it hits different, 100% different live. I think Silent Night through like headphones, amazing song. Silent Night live is an out of body experience.
Okay. I'll have to.
That's
listen
all.
To
we
it.
should let's get it started.
Let's get it started. Yeah. Everybody keeps saying it hits different live, so that might be the case.
날카로운 말로 날 더 자극해 yeah. 죄의식은 없었겠지 너에게 Don't break my heart no more 숨이 막히는 wow 조금씩 사라지는 빛 글자도 남지 않는 길만 견딜 수 없어 커져가는 이 불길을 피해서 깊은 숨을 들이켜
Dynamics are fun on this track.
Don't wanna see you blind Silent night
Ooh, okay.
고요한 이 밤에 need sunlight Don't look at my door Set me free 벗어나고 싶어
Some fun drums.
반복될 문제 So I'm just silent Just pray for you No mercy, no gain So more 빌려 반응이 오는 바를 쌓인 침묵이 보내는 총알을 카 막을 수 없어 번져만 갈 이 불길을 피해서 깊은 숨을 들이켜
Some really high vocals going on in the background. I love that.
Don't wanna see you blind Silent night 고요한 이 밤에 need sunlight Don't knock at my door Set me free 벗어나고 싶어 이제
Oh, is it speeding up? What? That's awesome. This part, I feel like would go offline. Thanks for watching. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. You know, that was a great segue. This was great. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I love that ending. That ending was definitely like completely out of the box. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, so when they play that live, they also the song ends and then they keep it silent for a couple beats and then they bring back that last part again, like out of nowhere as like a surprise, like extra.
That's dope.
Last like rave part, and they do like a whole light show with it, and it's really fun. Sindre, I was also at the Reading PA show for Reason Makes, and it was amazing in that theater. It was very fun.
Wow, there you go. Shout outs. We are close there.
Yeah, that song specifically, the whole show just turns into like a rave. It is so fun. It's like I think the only way to really get it across is to show you like a live video, but I don't think there was any like good representation live videos that are like properly like in like a dark theater and quality was good. So
I feel
you'll just have to come along and see them live and find out for yourself.
I'll do it. Listen, and also Dreamcatcher, you know, if you happen to watch this video, you know, I'd love to have you on the channel to interview. Maybe I don't have to work on my Korean, but I could do it. It'll be a good challenge if I can interview someone in Korean. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, this is great. I think the coolest thing about it is, and as I mentioned, like, you know, just having everybody's name up here, like, you get a better perspective on, like, I think I even mentioned it in my New Jeans review, is, like, you get a better perspective on, like, how much structure and how much layering goes into, like, especially K-pop music, and having 7 members, like, very easily, I think if you're looking at it from a musical perspective, you could say that's a lot, right? There's a lot going on. There's a lot of kind of nuance that each vocalist has specifically, and I think that not only for the sheer fact of, like, you know, all the women here in this group, but also for their producer to kind of have that sort of know-how to be like, okay, we're gonna put GU here and we're gonna put Dami here and we're gonna like put Sion and Gaeon together like in a part, and then like it's just very intricate, and I think that's kind of why I feel like more currently I've really been getting into a lot of K-pop music, is because like there's such a level of technique that the groups have to have, but also for the producer to pull out the best of. And I think that this group, on top of having some really cool like rock and metal moments, I think also vocally is very demanding. So I give their producer, who I'm sure they work with a ton of different producers, but I would just want to kind of give a shout outs to all of them, because this might be, you know, probably a big task to kind of go through and really try to figure out all that sort of stuff. So
they've actually primarily worked with 2 producers for most of their discography. Lees and Olander, I believe, are the 2 guys.
Okay. Shout outs to them.
I think recently one of them stepped away for another project.
Okay.
I think I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, primarily most of their stuff has been with Lees and Olander, who are just extremely talented musicians and producers. So
I would agree. That's awesome.
Yeah, they've done it. I mean, they can do it all. They do all their heavier. They've done a lot of their heavier stuff. They've done a lot of their EDM stuff. They're just very talented, multifaceted producers.
Yep, 100%. So I just wanted to give them a shout, because I don't think I did it in the previous part. So wanted to make sure they're getting that love too, because I don't think it would have come across as great if they didn't have the time to put in that work. So big salutes to them. Mel said yes. Dreamy says crowd jumping wild at the end. LMAO. You could definitely tell that for sure. Love this song, along with In the Frozen. That was LA Dreamer. Gil Godwin says, I was at the Reading show. I'm going to the show at the Grand Ole Opry in September. That's awesome. Have a great time. And then Omei says, yeah, In the Frozen. I feel like a lot of people want to hear that one. Is that on the list, Alex?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to add that to the list here. But yeah, everybody's saying the crowd is moving. So we'll next time Dreamcatcher's in PA, I will definitely be going with Alex to that show. So very excited. Ivy says, yes, Lee's and Olander have been with them since the beginning, but Lee's left recently. Lee's recently signed an exclusive contract with another company. That's what Sinrad said. So
he will be missed. Good for him.
He will be missed. Salutes to Lee's. But we're going to move it on to the next one. We have this one. I don't know which one this is. This Play Color?
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Play Your Color. This
is the Play Color version, I guess. Performance video for Wind Blows.
Sick. Kind of feels a little breakdown. Oh, Alex is frozen. Oh.
Is that frozen?
Wow, that was intense. I like that. You did freeze up for a little bit, so I was like, "Did I lose
back
it?"
now?
You're back now. Yeah, it just sped through super quick, and I looked over at the screen. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be doing."
No,
this
I was rocking out. I was actually rocking out that fast. Yeah, this is a cool song. The choreo for this is super fun.
Oh yeah. So sick.
And something that you pointed out with that dance break sort of sounding like a breakdown. I think that is a commonly shared similarity between K-pop and metal, and where like the song structure lies.
I'd agree.
Is that like a lot of times you will get a dance break in a lot of K-pop songs, and it's just always seemingly placed exactly where you would get like a good breakdown in a metal song. You know what I mean?
Structure is there, yeah.
The structure is there. And I think that it's cool to kind of like pick that out.
Yeah, that was something I like immediately was like, okay, they're doing like the last chorus, and they're gonna hit me like with the build up, and then they're gonna hit me with like that dance break. I do like that because I would argue for people who maybe are in the chat that obviously come from my side of the world of being more in the like post-hardcore metalcore sort of stuff. Like, I think this is probably a great starting point if you are unfamiliar with Dreamcatcher and you just happen to show up in this part. I would highly recommend giving this part a listen because or this song a listen specifically, and maybe that might encourage you to give more of it a listen just because I was really vibing out with this one. This is really direct, really aggressive. The vocals on this song were really sick. I absolutely love the chorus of this track, but that dance break was really tight, and just the way that the choreo just like really just popped off in that dance break part. Oh, so sick. I think, do they play this one live or no? If you can remember.
I know I've heard it live. I don't remember if it was on the Reason Makes tour or the one prior to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's like in their current set
lineup
list, but I definitely have heard it live before.
I feel like this one would pop off live. So if you know, Dreamcatcher, if you're watching this video, if you come back to Pennsylvania, I would hope that this one's in the set list for me and people of, you know, that are going to see the tour. I'm just saying, you know, I feel like I gotta make my comments known, you know. So
it was on. Obviously, says it was on Reason Mix.
Oh, okay. So I missed out. I would have popped off for this one.
Never know what they're gonna play.
Never. That's just the fun of it. I'm also curious on how many songs that they've written collectively, like in across the like B-sides, the, you know, the obviously their main tracks. I'm just curious on the number because I don't want to know what type of mountain I've jumped onto that I have to delve more into a little bit. So
yeah,
I'm gonna say it's a lot.
If anyone in chat
actually knows,
has a facts and has a real number of songs that they have total, I'd be very interested.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'd also like to know. Ivy says in LA last year, members asked what song they wanted to hear next. The whole crowd was chanting "Wind Blows," and the members looked at each other like, "Oop!" So they fixed that with the next tour. So yeah. Well,
okay.
Works out. Maybe if we no, I actually don't bully people. That's not cool. But like, you know, if you want to politely suggest that this should be one of the songs they keep on there, then that'd be sick. Sin Raylan says, you know, New Days is 99% going to be the very last song they played. Yeah, if I read that right. All right, people said 100.
About 100. And we've done what, like 20,
26.
23, 24, 26?
Well, 26 is on the playlist. Everybody's keep giving us different answers, so. I have 72, 100. Mouse Glove said 78. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out, I guess. But, I mean, considering we've tapped into possibly a quarter of their discography, that's kind of insane.
Hey, all I'm seeing is plenty for a part 3.
Plenty for a part 3. That's all. That's what we're getting at. So, all right. Ethan with the facts. Says, including instrumentals, solo songs, OSTs, I have a playlist for them on Spotify that has 129 songs. If that's real, all I'm going to say is that's a lot of songs. So,
my man Ethan with the facts. Thank you.
Yes. Shout outs. All right. Well,
all right. Before we go into this next one, I'm going to give you
You're going to give me a
141. Oh my God.
Yeah,
so a little backstory. People in the comments were requesting this a lot. It was originally in my plans. So prior to Dreamcatcher debuting, in 2014, a 5-member girl group debuted, and their name was Minx. And it was 5 of the Dreamcatcher members, minus Gayun and Handong. they at some point weren't doing great and kind of rebranded, got 2 members, and formed what we know as Dreamcatcher. And I think it's little juxtaposition, is that the right word? I think you'll be very surprised with it, and I saw a lot of people requesting it, and it's definitely interested to see what you think. So we're gonna watch. It's not Minx's debut song, but it is their first comeback. But it would be their most well known and most iconic song. So we'll go ahead and watch what Dreamcatcher essentially was prior to Chase Me.
All right. Well, and you're not even gonna tell me the song. We're just gonna jump right into it, right?
The song's called Love Shake.
Okay. Well, let's get into it, guys.
Baby, don't let me stop you.
Sindre, we're doing both.
Now, this is what I think of when I think of K-pop.
한 스푼을 떠서 내 맘속에 휘비져 어놓고 설레임 반 하고 떨림 반 적당히 섞어
Such a different vibe.
이거 너무 달콤해 맛보기도 전에 빠질 것 같아 휘핑 크림과 같은 내 사랑 너를 위해 준비한 걸 Shake it love Shake it shake it shake it shake it love 나의 맘에 다가와서 달콤하게 섞어줄래 너와 내 사랑을 하나 Shake it love Shake it shake it shake it shake it love
So sorry to bring this back to all you guys in the comments.
달콤하게 마셔줄래 널 위해 준비한 내 사랑을 Yeah I wanna love your love 스윗한 사랑을 그래 너 한번 두고도 자꾸 그러다가 정말 중독돼
There's your rapper.
She sounds so different.
시원하게 얼린 눈물 대신 기막히게 빨간 키스를 줘 오래 두면 상할지 몰라 너 하루빨리 내 맘을 가져가 배탈나도 책임 없죠 난 맨날 너만 찾게 될 테니
Yo, for free?
I guess so. Different time.
Shake it love Shake it shake it shake it shake it love 나의 맘에 다가와서 달콤하게 섞어줄래 너와 내 사랑을 하나 Shake it love Shake it shake it shake it shake it love 나의 맘에 들어와서 달콤하게 마셔줄래 널 위해 준비한 내 사랑을 나는 정말 소중해 네가
I like this part.
소중해
The bridge is sick.
나는 only you
That like arpeggiated synth.
널 사랑해
Key change?
Shake it love Shake it shake it shake it shake it love 나의 맘에 다가와서 달콤하게 섞어줄래 너와 내 사랑을 하나 Shake it love Shake it shake it shake it shake it love 나의 맘에 들어와서 달콤하게 마셔줄래 널 위해 준비한 내 사랑을
This was for sure a fever dream. All right, guys. Well, that was Minx and the song Love Shake.
Don't worry, it's a fever dream. It's a fever dream for the members just as much as it's a fever dream for Insomnia.
This is wow. This is what a departure, right? Like that's what I think immediately when I listened to this song, I was just like, this is different. This is definitely different. And getting the perspective of obviously listening to Dreamcatcher stuff and then listening to this now is completely different. But I will say actually the musicality of it is kind of a bop. I gotta give it.
It's a good song.
It's a good song. I gotta give him credit for it. It's kind of catchy, you know. It's got that, especially that chorus. I'm gonna be sleeping in my bed back there, be like singing, just humming the melody as I go to bed. Me and my cat, he's sleeping right now. He's having dreams about Love Shake right now.
It's just some good old bubblegum K-pop.
I was gonna say, yeah.
What's funny is like this song really like the song like did okay kind of, I guess, when it came out, but it's really now sort of just like a meme or like a fever dream sort of for Dreamcatcher fans. And I know it haunted the members for a while. They somewhat recently, I think they kind of embraced it and they did like an OT7 version of it, and they I think performed it it's kind of like a special stage encore kind of thing.
What?
So it's pretty funny. I'm glad.
I can kind of feel similar feelings to that, because that's like me looking back at like the first year's interviews that I've done, and I'm like, wow, I look like a teen, and I was like 8. I was pretty young, but
yeah, and I think the Dreamcatcher you see now, like them all being like you've seen their self-made videos and stuff. They're all kind of chaotic, and their personalities, I think that they show now through their side content and stuff, is definitely more of who they are. So I think there's definitely a little bit of cringe when they look back at themselves in this video, because they're really not all like that.
Yeah, they're not like super bubblegum.
I would say like the only member I think that is somewhat close to the Love Shake concept is GU. But no, it's very interesting.
This is a bop. I'll stand on that. This is musicality was very fun. I really love that like arpeggiated like synth riff. That was really tight. I mean, it does feel very of the time. The key change was great too. Like I feel like it's very much of that time frame, you know. But I do feel like they really kind of. I do really feel like you could kind of get like just the smallest of inklings that possibly they could do something like this, but it seems looking back on it now and listening to Dreamcatcher and listening to more of the like Japanese stuff, like you're like, okay, this feels weird because this is like the yin to the yang kind of a thing. So it was also very hard to see my lady Dami like that, you know. I feel like she was like, it didn't hit the same, you know. Like when I listen to Dreamcatcher songs, I'm like, yes, Dami, and then
Dreamcatcher Dami is it.
Dreamcatcher Dami is on top, but Minx Dami it wasn't hidden. I don't feel.
And Dreamy says the competition was tough in the year they tried to debut as Minx. Cooler, darker concepts for outshining. That's definitely true. That was a big time where like girl crush, I guess, is like the niche genre you want to I guess label like that time 2014-15 girl crush concepts were big, so it was like darker, like sexy kind of stuff.
Sure.
So this sort of concept and this sort of sound was a little bit, I would say, even dated at that time.
Oh, interesting.
Like now it's dated, of course, because it's from 2014. But in 2014, it wasn't really growing with the trend of K-pop at the time. It was a little bit behind, and I think that definitely did hurt them for sure.
Yeah, you know. And then Sin Raylan said the OT7 performed that in Broken Halloween last year.
Yep, that's what it was.
Very cool.
It's very cool. I watched a couple of videos of that. It's
I'll
very
never
fun.
look at Dami the same way again. So now that I know that this exists, so I still love her. She's still number one. But there's a little bit in my heart where I'm like, So, but it's still good. I'm glad that they really found their sound, because I do feel like the Dreamcatcher stuff was just like, again, listening to part one and just really getting into it, I'm like, yeah, this seems like something they've always kind of like gravitated towards, I'd argue. And I really feel like they've really run with the concept over the years that they've been doing this project. So very cool. And then now we're going to get into whatever the last one is on this playlist here that Alex has curated for us. So make sure
this
to
is
give
just
a thumbs
going to
up
be
for Alex.
This is going to be Minx's debut song.
Oh, is this even further back in the catalog?
It is further back. Oh. This would be the very beginning.
The very beginning. Okay. Well, let's get into it. This one is it Why? Or is it more of the song?
Why Did You Come to My House, I believe?
Yes, it's Why Did You Come to My House? So let's get into it.
난 집에 가야 돼 12시가 되면 걷기도 싫은데 나 좀 데려다 줄래? 내 정신 좀 봐봐 어지럽나 봐 나는 그대로인데 어쩜 주위만 빙빙 돌고 있는지 우리 집 안까지 들어와도 돼 왜 계속 끝까지 서 있기만 해 I need you, I need you, I want you, I want you, I got you, I got you, boy 너 대체 왜 왔니 아직도 모르니
This chorus kind of pops up, not gonna lie.
아니 조금씩 나에게 더 다가와 줄래 어쩜 그리 망설이니 우리 집에 왜 왔니 왜 왔니 왜 왔니 우리
Is that like an automaton?
Sounds like it.
It sounds like it. I can't unhear it now.
Not gonna lie, this is good too.
Wow, what a note. I hit the same.
확실히 그 전에 사랑이 있었던 자리 상처가 됐지만 이제 더 많이 가질 수 있고 지킬 수 있어야만 난 널 원하는 실로 아니 왜 왔니 아직도 모르니 어디까지 여기 난 아니 조금씩 나에게 더 다가와 줄래 좀 그리 망설이니
All right.
Baby, I want your love. 우리 집에 왜 왔니 왜 왔니 왜 왔니 우리 집에 왜 왔니 왜 왔니
That was a song.
It is so funny how much of a timely piece this song is, because it's so, every time I re-listen to it, it reminds me so much of like the later like 21 songs and like some EXID stuff who like existed in that same time period.
Okay.
That did like very similar like production styles for some of their songs, and it's so funny that it's like such a telling You can hear that and like instantly date like the couple year span that song came out because it was such a distinct sounding time period in K-pop.
Yeah, I can kind of relate it to like just having bands that were like OG to me in the time. Like there's some bands that have just like a classic sound that like whenever they kind of, I don't want to say depart from their sound, but like there's just something special about that original like music. Like I kind of attribute it to like Woe Is Me compared to like Issues, where like I love And Delinquents, which I imagine most people in this chat may not know of, so I'm giving you some knowledge on it. But to me, that's like when I think of that band, I think of that sound and that album, right? And I instinctually go to that. But then when I listen to Issues, which is the project they did after Woe Is Me, then I'm like, there's still like little bits and pieces, but not nearly as much as the original. So that to me is kind of where I kind of put Minx in terms of the perspective. Like obviously Minx as a project, you know, was doing their stuff, and then if they didn't exist, then we wouldn't have Dreamcatcher. So I feel like that's a cool concept in and of itself. I think both Minx songs that we listened to were both great, even if they are of that time period. You know, I think they're both well written songs, so I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed both of the Minx songs, even though I feel like I am way more of a Dreamcatcher stan now in terms of their musicality. But yeah, Big Paradox, I am talking about. I guess they're more like metalcore, but yes, I am talking about a post-hardcore metalcore type band. Yes. But yeah, it's cool. I think Dreamy puts it well. That said, we appreciate that it's a part of Dreamcatcher's history. Their journey and everything is incredible. I'd highly
For sure.
They
Agreed.
really deserve the praise that they've gotten, certainly, and you know equally are appreciative of their fan base. So I think that's a great thing to have, and I'm excited to delve into part 3. I feel like there's enough concept here to do part 3. So
Yeah, and to point out, like, there are a lot of groups who do concept shifts and
Sure.
changes over time. It's not super uncommon. Dreamcatcher's case is a little different because they like kind of rebranded entirely, where it's like a totally different group. Where a lot of times you'll have groups like gradually go over changes, or like Mongji in chat said same goes for CLC. They debuted with like a Q concept, very bubblegum Q concept, and switched. I think they released Hobgoblin was the title track, where they kind of just completely flipped Girl Crush, and then wrote out like the heavier, like EDM kind of Girl Crush stuff for the rest of their career, and it actually did pretty well. I mean, their company wasn't great, but it did really well for them. So it's cool to see.
Yeah, I think overall, like, just again, kind of splitting this up into 2 parts, and I got to give a lot of kudos to Alex for putting the playlist together, and obviously all of you guys for giving us good recommendations as well along the way, and obviously being very insightful, because I did check out all of the comments that I could check out. I think I got all of them for the first part, but I think it just shows how cool the community is that I had very limited knowledge of. So it's cool to just see people that are so invested in these projects that it's incredible. So you've got to give you guys a lot of kudos for that, because it's awesome.
Yeah, and for me as well. Like, I really appreciate everyone that's especially everyone that's here watching live.
Same.
And
Yes.
helping us with information in the chat right now, because even for me, like, I would consider myself a pretty big Dreamcatcher fan, but there's definitely like a lot of stuff that you guys know way more than I do, and it's super helpful for me trying to like walk through the songs and like picking out what to look at in the future and what songs to playlist and stuff. So appreciate everyone giving out all the helpful info and good recommendations.
Yeah, I think it also makes it good for the people who check this out that aren't familiar with Dreamcatcher. It gives them a good base point to kind of like read the comments, read the chat as they're watching the video, and hopefully it'll be a part of part of other people's jump in as well. That's kind of my goal on doing these, is just to kind of allow people to jump into K-pop along with me, since I am very not knowledgeable on this sort of stuff. And I'd like to become more knowledgeable on it. So I think it's a cool thing, and I hope you join us not only for Dreamcatcher, but other groups we're going to be getting into. Would love to know what group's next, and what we'll be doing.
Definitely be taking suggestions in the comments or chat for songs to playlist for episode 3 of Dreamcatcher Deep Dive, since we'll be doing that. I have a couple in mind already. Definitely will consider whatever you guys want to see. Just leave it in the comments, leave it in the chat, whatever.
Yeah.
And also, I'd really be curious to see what other groups you guys would like.
Oh.
Yes, go into a lot of one or two groups. Sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say you completely cut out and then you speed ran through all of it, but I got
I'm sorry.
The gist of it.
Sorry if I cut out. I was saying that I would be very curious to see if anyone has suggestions for other groups or artists for us to dive into, because I have a lot of groups in mind that I think would be great, but I'd definitely be curious to see what people would want. I think it would be cool to start getting into some groups as they're coming towards comebacks. I see Ome is saying Everglow. Yes, Everglow is high priority for me.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay. Respect. I trust.
I think we were talking about. I think XG was on the table.
Yep.
Everglow is up for discussion. I think we were maybe gonna do a little bit of Twice stuff along with the Jiho album.
Yeah, we're definitely doing the Jiho album 100%. I don't know if it'll
Idol,
be live
Aespa.
or not.
So yeah, well, big paradox. Both. I think I probably have a lot more knowledge on girl groups, but I don't think we're opposed to doing either. I think
I would agree.
the point of doing a deep dive is that we learn about them. So I would be open to doing either. I like ATs, I like TXT, I like Enhypen, I like Mirai. Just a couple boy groups if you're trying to gauge what kind of boy groups I like. But
Rolling Quartz, I have listened to some Rolling Quartz songs, so I can confirm they're sick. But maybe we'll do them live. We haven't decided on that yet.
Yes, we do know Rolling Quartz.
Yeah, they're great. Shout outs. Yeah, we have some good ones. We'll have to definitely check out this chat and see if there's other groups we'll add to the list. If you also want to DM me ones that you feel like you'd like us to check out, feel free to just DM audioaddictionmedia. We'll have to check those. Sin Raylan says, warning on the Twice content. The JP stuff is under Warner Music Japan, which is very strict. Yep.
So we might have to do an edited, not live video for that.
I learned the hard way on that one. So as someone who reviewed between 1 and 2 and got copyright flagged immediately, probably will be recorded and it will have to cut out the music, but we'll probably bring you some content on that just because unfortunately can't do it live. So if there's any group that you would like us to do that you would feel would not flag content warning at all, feel free to let us know, because I know Warner Japan is very, very tough. So I do not want to piss them off at all.
Dreamy Stray Kids is another great group. That is a deep dive for a group, but I would love to check out more Stray Kids stuff at some point. The jazz stuff on the most recent Dreamcatcher mini album is cool. Damien is a great song. I definitely wouldn't want to get to that eventually.
Oh, I'm a big jazz fan, so I'm about it. I could do that. Let's see who else. We got a couple more. Ome says, awesome playlist, Alex. You the GOAT. Shout outs.
Thank you so much. We're tried to make the best playlist that I could. I think we definitely I think we got a lot of good ones out of the way, and I think we have plenty of material for the next one.
Never mind, you got it.
Did I leave again?
Yeah, you kind of cut, but I got it. I got the gist of
My
it.
bad.
So it's all right. Maybe our internet is throttling right now. So
yeah, we're in the same house, by the way.
We're in the same house. Yes, we are.
Probably never contextualized that. We're not like 500 miles from each other. He is about 20 feet away from me.
20 feet away.
We're just not doing this.
I would
in the
run
same
downstairs, but that seems a little nuts. But yeah, well, I think at some point I would love to delve more into Twice stuff because I see Sim Raylan wants us to do it, but just because I know Warner Japan might be a little bit more strict on that, it might be pre-recorded.
Yeah, I mean Twice. I think you can get away with doing a lot of. I mean Twice has enough Korean stuff to. We could do like 50 episodes deep dive on Twice with just Korean content, and it'd be fine.
So.
But yeah, we'll take a look at the comments, see what you guys want to see the most. I'll start making some playlists. I'll start working on the Dreamcatcher Part 3 playlist, and we will keep updates in the community tab, hopefully, to try to keep you guys updated to when we're going to be streaming. I think we do want to do this live most of the time. It's fun interacting with you guys.
Of course, yeah. We'd love to do it.
And also, it's great to have some help because a lot of you guys are way more knowledgeable than us.
Especially me. Anyone can keep me out right now.
Right.
So, no, it's great. Big salutes to like literally 50 people in this chat. That's amazing. This is probably arguably pretty close to the most people I've had in a chat. So, amazing. The community is awesome. Thank you for giving us such great recommendations. I'm excited to see what we have for part 3 because we literally have been watching the chat the entire time, so I know there's some really great songs that we're getting into. We hope to get to all of them if at all possible. You know, obviously there are probably going to be some we're going to miss out on, but we'd like to try to get what we can get and what works for obviously the collective group here. So thank you for hanging out. Really appreciate it.
Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you can see when we post about doing part 3 and going live for future stuff.
I would agree.
So you don't miss it. So you can not miss the live stream, not miss the videos. Definitely helps out on our end. And, you know, hopefully some more people from the Audio Addiction channel who are here for a lot of metal stuff will start getting into some of these groups too. So
yes, please. That'd be great. And then, yeah, also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I also post a link to go live as well, too. So I really do appreciate it. Again, Ethan, big shout-outs. He's given us some really great pointers on it. And just a lot of great fan base. Ivy, like everybody that's really been giving us some long comments to go through. It's crazy how much information you guys have about groups, so I really appreciate the attention to detail from everybody. It's insane to look at and read. I legitimately was telling Alex like earlier today that it's insane how much of a following there is, and so want to be able to provide that to everybody that's in the chat and that will watch this VOD, because really falling in love with the K-pop community right now, and appreciate you guys for sticking around. So thank you for watching, and hope to catch you guys in the next one. Very excited.
Cool. Yep. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. See you in the next part.